You can become the best by following these 3 steps in any realm of human endeavor. And I'm going to explain this with the context of Max Verstappen because he's the best Formula One driver, i.e., he's the best driver, period. The first step is to choose your parents. Verstappen's parents are racers. Both of them were world-class racing drivers. Even though Jos Verstappen, Max's dad, didn't have an illustrious list of achievements in Formula One, even then, because his teammate was Michael Schumacher and a lot of other things happened in his career. Both of Max's dads were top-class racing drivers. His mother beat dudes in karting. So that's some top-class talent right there. So the first step is to choose your parents, and apart from giving you the desired genetics, which is required to become the best in the field, it also creates an environment of that kind of mindset, right? In Max Verstappen household, the Verstappen household in general, there would be a vibe of believing in yourself, thinking that you're the best, never giving up, always pushing, always waking up in the morning and continuing to, give yourself another opportunity on every new day. That sort of mentality, that sort of circumstantial situation also happens when you choose your parents right, like along with getting the best possible genetics, which is required to be successful in whatever field you want to be successful in. So the first step to becoming the best in your field is to choose your parents. The second step is start young. There was a picture circulating like in the Formula One internet of Max Verstappen sitting in a go-kart. He was 3 or 4 years of age. He was surrounded by a bunch of people. One of them was Michael Schumacher. One of them was Jos Verstappen. And it was his first gift as a kid. And it was not his first gift as a kid, but like a first gift from Michael Schumacher as a kid, I guess. And he was 3 years old, and it was a go-kart. So Max Verstappen started to competitively race since he was 3 years of age. Now, almost all of the Formula One drivers that we know start extremely young, but not as young as Max Verstappen. The thing is, the moment Jos Verstappen knew that he's going to have a son, that moment he started crafting a detailed 20-year strategy or like a 15-year strategy from karting all the way to Formula One for his son. I'm 100% sure that it happened. So he started before he even got started. You know what I mean? By the time Max was born, by the time Max Verstappen was taking his first steps in his house, the game plan, the strategy for him to go through karting, the junior racing series, the amateur racing career, to professional racing, to Formula One, the strategy was already laid out. So he started very young, from the womb, you may think. Maybe Jos Verstappen, we don't know this, but maybe Jos Verstappen made his mother watch tapes of Ayrton Senna and a lot of other top-class drivers when, Max Verstappen was still a baby, like in the womb. So he started very young. That's the second thing you need to do to become the best at anything. If you start early, your brain is more malleable. You can absorb information much more faster. You can retain knowledge well. You can also adapt to the new challenges, to the new circumstances much more faster than your older counterparts. Things like that. So, step 1, choose your parents. Step 2, start young. And the third step is outwork everyone. This is the most important step. Because if you don't outwork everyone, it doesn't matter if your parents are perfect. It doesn't matter if you're nudged in the right direction in your life as early as possible because you are surrounded by the right people. It doesn't matter if you don't outwork everyone, because at the end of the day, you still have to put in the work. And here is how Max Verstappen is doing it. Right now, as we speak, the Formula One season is over. This is the winter break. All of the drivers are doing God knows what. Taking time off, not thinking about racing. eating, delicious, rich, palatable food, treating themselves with big meals because they can afford to get fat at this time of the year, and then they have to shed the weight in like as soon as possible because testing starts early. Anyway, this is what most of the other drivers are doing, and Max Verstappen, he's out there doing GT3 testing in Estoril. And recently, the news came out, I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, that he has signed a contract. I mean, Verstappen.com Racing has signed a contract with Mercedes AMG GT3 team. Toto Wolff got his foot through the Max Verstappen door. I think it's a matter of time before Verstappen goes to Mercedes. Maybe, we don't know. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that Max Verstappen, even after being, crowned as the best driver ever, literally, based on how he drives, how meticulous he is, how perfect he is, how efficient he is, how effective he is in extracting the maximum performance from the car, he still doesn't take a day off. And also, and this is the off season, right? Even when the Formula One season was going on, in between races, if it is not a back-to-back Formula One weekend and there's like a weekend off, he flies to somewhere else, does some racing, and wins that race too. It happened, I think, around the time of the 2025 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, where he went to race in the Nürburgring. He won that race. He started P3, took the lead before the first corner, and he pulled 1 minute gap within like, I don't know how many laps, but he dominated that race. That's what he does like in between Formula One races. And also the amount of sim racing he does, the amount of hours he spends on the simulator. And it's not just happening in these recent years. These recent years, we are getting to know it more and more. I'm pretty sure he was doing it since 2015-16, as much as possible. So within a few years, because Max Verstappen just constantly outworks everyone on a very high level, after a few years, it's practically impossible to beat the guy. Because if, let's say, today's Sunday and there's a race today, and then there's a week gap, and then after another week, there's another race, Max Verstappen is not going to sit still. He's going to go on the simulator, he's going to do some sim racing, he's maybe going to jump into some other track, go somewhere. He will learn, like, in a way, maybe it's not Formula One directly, but it does help him get in the zone of performance optimization and maximizing the resources that you have. It gets him in that mindset. So next time when he is in the Formula One car, even after 2 weeks, he has done a lot more extra hours of racing. He has practiced the muscle of extracting the maximum performance out of the car with whatever he has. He has practiced the muscle of being in the racer's mindset. So anyway, to conclude, there are 3 things you need to do in order to become the best in any realm of human endeavor. First, choose your parents. They need to have the right genetics. That will help you, to have a natural advantage. The second thing is you have to start as early as possible, as young as possible, because that's when you have the most time, you have the brain capacity to learn, and also there's nothing else to do except for learning and, improving. And the third and the most important point is you have to outwork everyone. You have to put in so much amount of work on such a level, on such a consistent basis, that it becomes practically impossible to beat you. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.